live. If you are concerned about being seen, you can turn off the video camera.
Oh, Ed, could you also give me permission to record as well?
Oh yeah, yeah. Let me give you permission to record.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll make you a co-host, and then also I should set. I should set. If you are concerned about being seen, you can turn off the video camera. That's my recording.
Oh, Ed, could you also give me permission to record as
Yeah.
well?
Let me give you permission to record that. There you go. Now we don't have to hear our echo.
No.
Yeah, so I think we are going live. I think we are live now. So I guess let's get started today. So welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us for our bi-weekly crypto Zoom talk. Name is Crypto Ed, and I'm excited to have all you guys here today to like chat crypto and share ideas and also discuss about like where crypto is going. Today we're going to have two parts to today's Zoom gathering. The first part is going to be uh, prepare presentations. Charlie and myself will be sharing, and afterwards we'll open up the floor for Q&A for everybody. So this will be for like newcomers and anyone who's been around for a while and want to like help, like want to share their ideas and help newcomers on board. Because we are a community and we want to help everybody get on board. Because the exciting thing about crypto is if we all work together, everybody wins. It's not like the other places where like somebody wins and somebody loses. Right? If we all work together, the price of crypto goes up, and we are all winners. So I guess the only loser would be the big banks and such. And this was the reason why crypto was created in the first place, to go against the big banks. So without much ado, I'm going to get started with, I'm going to pass the screen to Charlie. But before we do it, I'm just going to share a bit about Charlie from his bio. So yeah, so for those of you who don't know Charlie, Charlie is 22. He has been in the crypto space for about 4 years. He's an experienced crypto analyst, trader, investor, entrepreneur, and beatboxer. He's been trading stocks, bonds, commodities, but his main specialty is cryptocurrencies. He's the founder of the nonprofit Facebook crypto group, Subtle Asian Crypto, with over 1.5K members, as well as the nonprofit Instagram channel Beatbox.finance, which has over 2,000 followers. If you want to grow in crypto and be kept up with what's happening in the space, Charlie is a guy you want to follow. Let's welcome Charlie to the stage.
All right, what's up, guys? How you guys been doing? It says I can't. You want to share the screen?
Let me see here. Oh, that should be your screen now.
Okay. All right. You guys see everything on the screen, correct?
Yep.
All right, perfect. All right, guys. So we have the Crypto Talk Zoom Hangout. So we have Ed. First of all, I'd like to thank Ed for being the host, for allowing me to be on here to talk to you guys about crypto and just my experience, but also news. And I have like a topic, also a point of topic to talk about. But before we begin, I wanted to show you guys some beatboxing just because. So since that got you guys' attention, we're gonna go ahead and begin with crypto. Always wanted to try that. But so we're gonna start with some news and headlines. So this was from our last news. I brought this up just because for those of you who missed the last roundup, this is just a reminder of how financial news isn't always something I follow. Like I look at them, but I look at them generically. For example, the Jamie Dimon, he called Bitcoin a fraud since 2017, and now January 6, 2021, they're claiming it could go over 146,000. It's just the perception they skew it in terms of like it's just like what's their motive, like it's just it's confusing in terms of what the people really understand of Bitcoin. It's like, is it a fraud or is it legit? Is it something long term? Is it something I should buy and hold? So this news is like really important to topic to always like cover. So recent news, we had the Bitcoin double spin, but in reality that was all FUD, which is basically fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Um, I honestly think this news was really a way to shake people out that didn't understand how blockchain works or the fundamentals of crypto, because Bitcoin solved the double spin problem and also the Byzantine problem. And the double spin problem is basically the idea that Bitcoin won't allow more the same copy of the same transaction to allow a double spin, just like I was says. But what I'm trying to point out on this is this news is basically really um, it's really inaccurate for the newcomers for the that we had recently, like 5 days ago or 5 to 6 days ago. We also have MicroStrategies, who's been buying 1 billion Bitcoin in 2020. This was posted on December 21st. We also got Tyler Winklevoss, one of the smarter twins, if we call it. The amount of hedge fund managers and investors I've been talking to lately about Bitcoin has never been greater. Even the most conservative of them are worried about the future of the US dollar. So I really want to pinpoint on the future of the US dollar aspect, because I mean, what's the real motive in getting into crypto, other than the technology and it's great. There's other it's the tech, there's economics, there's other reasons more than just to make money, right? Like there's a reason why people are coming into this space. And if you guys don't know who Tyler Winklevoss is, he's a twin for Cameron Winklevoss, and they both were the original like creators, like in terms of the idea of Facebook before. If you guys watched the movie The Social Network, um, so these guys have been, I mean, they're rich, like they know they came from Harvard, like that type of stuff. So again, Harvard and Yale, they've been buying Bitcoin since over a year ago through Coinbase. So, I mean, if Harvard and Yale are getting into it, I mean, we should like, understand like, something's up, something's going on, something's cooking. So also, we also have the Nasdaq listed Marathon. Nasdaq listed Marathon Patent Group buys $150 million worth of Bitcoin. Um, as quoted, we believe the holding part of our treasury reserves in Bitcoin will be a better long-term strategy than holding US dollars. Again, US dollar, why it's something about the US dollars always popping up. So in terms of news, so these are the sources. So these are like, there were obviously other news that happened throughout the week. But in terms of, I just wanted to pinpoint in terms of these were the main news that kind of stuck out to me. And if we continue, the topic is going to be about why is 100K possible to reach for Bitcoin. So the question comes down to, with how Bitcoin can go to 100K, is what is its use case? Like what has Bitcoin solved in today's problems to be at that price? And this is a hypothetical question, but to name a few things that Bitcoin can potentially solve or has already solved is economics and money, the computer science aspect, like what you can code on top of it, different applications, politics and law. We have trading and investing, digital and physical securities. We have game theory. We got open source software. We got artists. We got audio. Like there's so much things that it could solve, but we're still so early in that right now it's like we're still trying to understand like how can it still be 100K. We're trying to dissect like where we're at in the time frame of the bigger picture of the whole innovation, and just how probable is it for us to reach 100K without being moon boys and looking at the statistics and data. So we have a famous, not famous, but a well-known, Plan B is a well-known Twitter poster about the stock to flow model in which he created. And the philosophy is in terms of a 4-year, if you're investing into Bitcoin, like in terms of like a retirement mentality, not like a short term, like, like a pump and dump type of mentality, Bitcoin would have done you really, really well if you just held on. And so it's just a perception of your risk, right? Like how much money you're willing to lose and etc. We also got Michael Saylor's. Bitcoin is, and he quotes, "Bitcoin is not a currency, nor is it a payment network. It is a bank in cyberspace run by incorruptible software, offering a global, affordable, simple, and secure savings account with billions of people that don't have option or desire to run their own hedge funds." And who is Michael J. Saylor? He's an American entrepreneur. He's a co-founder and lead at MicroStrategy. And if you guys know, MicroStrategy also have reserves of Bitcoin as well. So these guys are actual entrepreneur business people speaking on behalf of their reasoning on why they have their companies buy Bitcoin, or why they're bullish on Bitcoin in the long term. So Plan B, if history is any guidance and Bitcoin continues its current trajectory, BTC could be 100K somewhere between April and September. This was on January 24th. He tweeted this, plus he added this picture. And what this picture demonstrates or shows, explains, is BTC November 12th. These are the 3 major cycles that we're on the 3rd cycle in terms of the bigger picture of the Bitcoin. So basically we're at a point where he's basically saying it doesn't make sense for us to, like, it's still early. It's still too early in terms of to sell and to have doubt based off his model, right? Based off his model. But with any model, I have to tell you guys, all models are wrong and some are useful. I personally believe it's just a tool. It's something to gauge on. I don't think we should rely 100% on one data and one model. We should be open-minded towards different models. But in terms of his model is pretty somewhat reliable, but again, we should be more risk averse to different ideas and different opinions, because I mean, history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme. But in this context, if what he's saying is true, then yeah, Bitcoin is still early, right? Like it's still, like, it's not even at the cusp. Maybe it might take a little bit longer because there's more money in the system. Who knows? Maybe it might be even quicker. We don't really know what's going to happen. But given the path, if history does repeat, then we're technically on track right now. We're on track. All right. So so the total global wealth. So I'm going to break it down mathematically. So I'm not really a calculus person. I never liked calculus, but trust me, guys, this isn't really like calculus knowledge that we need to understand. It's basic multiplication and division. So I'm just going to show you guys in simplicity. There's $360.6 trillion of global wealth. The United States have like 29.4% of it, and Canada has 2.4%. And the meaning of global wealth is all the money and other assets that exist in all areas of the world considered together. And what we're trying to find is what needs to be Bitcoin's market cap to reach 100K. So currently Bitcoin's around like 30K, and it's around like $550 billion market cap right now. So in order to find this, find the market cap it needs to reach or have to reach 100K, is we multiply the circulating supply. So the total circulating supply of Bitcoin is 21 million, but currently there's around 18.6 million BTC circulating. So utilizing that, we multiply that with the price of Bitcoin, or the potential price that we wanted, and then it would be $1.86 trillion. So that's the amount of market cap we need in Bitcoin for it to reach 100K. So realistically, let's see how, given, so again, there's $360.6 trillion worldwide in terms of assets. So if we do math again, even Bitcoin equals like, the question is, still stands, is Bitcoin better than gold, or is it, we're still in this, I'm not claiming it is better, it's not, it's just we're looking at it in a perspective of what is the philosophically, how is the world viewing it, right? Are they viewing it better than gold? But as we both know, or we all know to some, well, I don't know if you all know, but to some degree, every financial person knows to some degree, like, gold and silver are manipulated markets. But given for this example, gold is $11.63 trillion market cap, and silver has a $1.356 trillion market cap. And given Bitcoin could possibly be the digital gold, I don't see how 100K, $1.86 trillion market cap isn't probable even this year. But again, let's do the math. 1.86 trillion divided by 360.6 trillion, that's 0.005, which is 0.5% of the global wealth. And you guys got to remember, the US printed a lot of money this year, almost 20% of their current dollars of debt. So it gives perspective of how much, like, this goes back to what Tyler Winklevoss was saying about the US dollar, like, it's inflation. It's about inflation, because Bitcoin, there's only 21 million, right? This is where we're going toward, like, more financial people are realizing, like, wait a minute, right? Wait a minute, something's not right. Something's not right with the numbers. Something's wrong with it. Even gold and silver, like, there's technically an unlimited amount of gold and silver, like, technically speaking, around, like, in the universe, right? So in a technical stance, Bitcoin is something we can't see, smell, touch, or taste, but we know is scarce and has been proven to work in fast transactions that take less than an hour and can be secure and trustless. So I've shown this our last meetup, but I'm just reminding you guys of how early we are in, and just how we shouldn't we shouldn't be short-sighted on the small moves. I know it feels very big, the moves of cryptocurrencies just in general, but in the bigger schemes of things, when you, like I said, when you look at the amount of money, there's only 0.5% of the global wealth in it. It's peanuts. There's literally nothing in it. So if you guys are worried about making money, I don't think that's the real issue here. Like, making money isn't the real issue. It's about educating. It's about understanding why it's here, the philosophy, the just even the technology, just understanding what it can do for you, right? What can help for you. I think that's the main thing that could drive you to stay and be a part of it. But again, I know there are traders and people that want to trade them and trade cryptocurrencies, and it gives third world countries an ability, as long as they have an internet connection, to trade an asset and utilize as a currency. So it just depends on, a first world person won't see Bitcoin the same as a third world person, right? So we gotta come together and see, where are we coming together? Where's the conscious idea of cryptocurrency and the digital money, the idea consciously, collectively around the world going towards? Because this is going to be bigger than Amazon. This is going to be bigger than Facebook. This is going to be bigger than any American tech stock, because this is a global thing. So again, key takeaways. So this was on Investopedia. So this was back when Bitcoin was 8,790. So this is March 4th, 2020. All the Bitcoins in the world were worth roughly 160.4 billion. Bitcoin accounted for just 0.4% of the world's money. And you guys got to remember, like, before now, Bitcoin's at 30K, and it's like we got around like 0.5%. But like I said, like they printed more money. They print the US dollar. There's more money in the system. So you see how like this is why um the percentages don't seem that like very vast. But furthermore, Bitcoin was worth only about 1.6% as much as the world's gold supply. All cryptocurrency combined account for less than 0.7% of the world's money. So currently, yeah, so not talking about Bitcoin alone, we're talking about DeFi, NFTs, all these other crypto projects combined. I would say around 1%, like less than 1%, around, around that area is the world's money currently. And so this is kind of outdated in terms, but it shows a pretty complete picture of how Bitcoin works, in a sense where there's 18.6 million. I think it's like 18.65 now. Currently circulating, but there's 21 million, and then around 900 new Bitcoins get released per day, because every 10 minutes a block is confirmed. And yeah, 88.570% of Bitcoins are issued. So when we do simple math, we got 46.8 million millionaires around the world, and we can't forget about the billionaires too. See, and as you can see, they own about 158.3 trillion of the wealth. So they have a lot of money. Like they own more than like 50%. Like all of them combined have more than 50% of the global wealth. And if you guys do, it's just this has nothing to do with calculus. It's just basic math, right? If we divide, 21 million Bitcoin divided by 46.8 million millionaires, we're not even counting the billionaires, there won't be enough Bitcoin for every millionaire. If there's not even enough for every millionaire, there's not going to be enough for every billionaire too. So mathematically speaking, you just need 0.45 Bitcoin to be in the elite status, I guess, so wish you can call it. So again, we're not focused on price. Yes, price is great and all. Like price is always secondary in my opinion. We got to go back into, I honestly think, before we, buy our first Bitcoin and like recklessly just because, I hear somebody saying, oh, it's going up. Because by the time someone says it's going up and everything's hyped, it's kind of too late. You want to position yourself. And but what's most important is you got to think long term of it. Like what's the 3 to 5 years type of mentality, not like 2 months, 3 months, unless you're trading or swinging. But if you're not like a trader or swinger, you're just an average Joe, you're just interested because you guys heard about crypto, I'd suggest education is the best way, understanding the statistics, the data, and the fundamentals of Bitcoin, so you guys could better position yourself. So we also got the socio-technological age of progression, so the S curve. And so we're at a point where we're trying to go into the next stage of our evolution, just as a society. But as you guys can see, it becomes exponentially faster. Just look at the pace of like how cryptocurrencies can change like the way we can fund our businesses, and just ideas can be shared, and just like tech education is not reaching to the standards of technological innovation. Like by the time blockchain, because I know Harvard started teaching blockchain tech around 2019, but it's the idea that like if you want every kid to like somewhat hear about blockchain in school, by then it's too late. All the money's made. So this is the flaw with our educational system, because like and again, this is where, as a perspective of a 22-year-old, I dropped out of college 4 years ago when I was 18. So I was a I was a finance major at Georgia State in Georgia. But I mean, I was taking accounting 1, accounting 2, all the computer information system, macro, microeconomics. But honestly, everything, yes, I learned some stuff, but all they taught me was how to be a worker. You know, they don't teach me how to personal finance. They don't teach me how to be my own boss, like how to make money with money. So I took a liberty on my free time while I was in school because I didn't feel like they were teaching, like it felt as if school failed me. And based off of what I knew about crypto, because I knew about this information, like I was studying it like on my own time, researching YouTubers, that drove me to motivate myself to drop out and just like why waste my time when with money and student loans when there's literally something called Bitcoin and blockchain that's going to replace all the financial things that I'm learning, like accounting 1, accounting 2, right? Like the whole point of blockchain is it can be a form of accounting, right? Like, so these things were like sparking in my mind, you know, like when I was 18. So that's how, in the end, obviously my mom and, you know, parents, like they didn't want me to drop out, but, you know, luckily I was able to. But in the end, the risk factor, was it smart for me to drop out? I mean, it was pretty much risky, but I did my research, right? I didn't just drop out for no reason, right? See, again, we don't want to go in emotionally wise. We want to take our time and somewhat have a concrete idea of what this is, what it can do for you, what it can do for us collectively as a community, as for your business, whatever, you know. And then this is also the bell curve. So if you guys know the bell curve and the S curve work in somewhat in synchro, like they have some form of commonalities in terms of mass adoption and how awareness spreads. So the bell curve is kind of like um it shows you the deviation of the low deviation the people with uh who's more susceptible to newer technology adoption rate, like understanding newer things and adoption. Like if we face it, like let's face it, like Wi-Fi, we don't really know how Wi-Fi works. We just know we press a button on a phone and it just works, it connects. So until crypto becomes super easy and has some form of customer support or something to help with the average Joe, it will have its hurdles, right? Like we're still so early in. Right, we're still so early in. This is an example of just the S curves of technological innovation, and um, like I said, anybody that or anyone in the bottom or who got in around here, they benefited the most out of the technology. So the whole idea is the earlier you get in, the better it is. So it's the idea that like this, we're so early in terms. This is the projection. I personally believe we're still in the early adopters phase. So if you put it in that perspective, it's peanuts. It's literally just the beginning. And this is by Willy Woo. Um, I personally think Bitcoin is going to be based off the statistics. Bitcoin is going to get adopted more quicker, in my opinion. Um, and it's because we're that much connected. We're more connected into the internet. We're more connected to the world. Um, we're more socially. We do business online now. We do everything online. So information gets virality becomes a thing, and also the network effect, Metcalfe's law. So those things all have like a contribution effect into the adoption of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a network. It's like Facebook. It's not exactly like Facebook, but it has a network effect to it. And yeah, I'm gonna pass the pass the meeting back to Ed. But this is a meme that I created. This is another meme. I think memes are powerful in terms of just just in terms of Bitcoin. It's very volatile, but understanding these principles and values of what Bitcoin can do for you and the history of it will better situate yourself in terms of whether it's worth putting your money, the how your risk assessing yourself on how much money is best suitable for you based off your age, your bills, your family, and etc. And as I always tell to any person, any new person who is interested in crypto, I always tell them, hey, if you know 100% sure this isn't the future, then don't put anything in. But if you're even 0.00001% unsure, you should put something. I think it's really like ignorant to overlook something that is revolutionary, given you understand, you read the white paper and you internalize it, and you've watched variety of various of people, professionals explaining their ideas of crypto. So without further ado, I'm gonna pass the meeting back to Ed. But thank you guys for having me on to share this for you guys.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Jordy. Thanks for sharing about your findings on the fundamentals of crypto, and more particularly Bitcoin, where it's going, why it has value, and where it could go. And a lot of people just they don't understand this, and because they don't understand this, they don't do the research. They're missing out on this, and this is why it's very important that if you are getting into the crypto, the blockchain space, to understand like just the fundamentals and how it works. Because a lot of times I hear people talk about getting into crypto, getting Bitcoin, and I ask them, have you read the white paper? Have you even read the Satoshi paper, or even know like what Polkadot is about? A lot of them, they don't know anything. They just think that it has a cool name and they're getting in, and that's like a recipe for failure. So yeah, so thank you, Charlie, for sharing about this. And yeah, I mean, if you love what Charlie share and you want to keep up to date, his group is called Subtle Asian Crypto, so you can check it out. His channel is beatbox.finance, so you can find it on Instagram. So yeah, so let's get started for the second part, which is my presentation on 15 ways to earn crypto. Before I start, I do want to make it clear that I'm not a financial advisor. This is just a presentation from by like financial enthusiasts. We're not from financial professionals. We're just lay traders. We're just average Joe, people like yourself, who may have gotten in on crypto maybe like a little bit ahead, right? But we're still like, we're just a half step ahead of, and we just want to share with you like what we discover in this space. So nothing we share should be taken as a financial advice. Yeah, and remember, do your own due diligence and consult a professional advisor if you need professional advice. So my presentation will be based on this infographic that I prepare. So these are like 15 ways that you can earn in crypto. And notice that I put a lot of emphasis on like the legitimate ways, meaning you won't see me putting stuff like, share referral codes, because that's going to be known as spam. People will hate you and they're going to unfriend you, or you get banned from groups. So these are the more legitimate ways you can grow. And there are different risk level and different, I guess, amount of time that you need to put in. And this presentation is just more of an overview about like 15 ways that's been observed, right? So the first way, which we're all familiar with, is this buy and hold, right? You buy and hold for capital gain. Like some people use the term like HODL, which stands for hold on for dear life, right? And it's pretty easy. All you have to do is you buy, you hold it, you check it for after a few years, and you see your gains. The good thing is it's very low maintenance, but it takes quite a bit of time before you start seeing the returns, unless you're lucky enough to be buying like near these areas, like right before it starts going up. And this is assuming that the token will go up in value over time, right? And of course, past results is not indicative of future outcomes. So that's just the first way, hodling. The second way is mining. So mining is another common and another popular way where people are earning in the crypto space. And this is where like you're providing computing power to support the network. And some of us in this community, people like Alex, aka Good Guy Biker, he's into mining. He can help people get started with mining. So, and yeah, the nice thing about mining is passive income. Like once you set it up, it generates income like on a regular basis. The downside is there are some upfront costs. You have to pay for the mining equipment. You have to pay for electricity bill. And depending on where you are located, you may have an advantage or a disadvantage. You could imagine in some countries where the electricity is subsidized by the government, you're going to have a huge advantage over others, right? You also need to have some technical know-how, and some of these technical know-how barriers can be overcome if you have like a mentor, like someone like Alex, who can help you get started. You also be competing against like big miners around the world, and so that is something you do have to consider. And yeah, and last thing is the equipment that you have, it may become outdated before, like within a few months, and we know that every 6 to 8 months there's going to be a new mining equipment, new mining card, and it will make your card obsolete. So that's just mining in a nutshell. Next up, we have altcoin trading. So if you're not familiar with altcoin is basically any coins that is not Bitcoin. Some people may argue and say that Ethereum may be considered as a main coin, but this is another debate in itself. But in general, altcoin trading is just you're just buying a coin like that is not a Bitcoin, that is not a large cap coin maybe, and you trade back and forth in hopes that you can increase your overall Bitcoin count. The nice thing is with this strategy, you may be able to grow faster than Bitcoin if you're in the right project. After all, when you are investing in altcoins, you are trusting that the project that you're investing in or the coins you're buying, the technology and the roadmap and what they're promising will become true, and it will bring value. Right. A lot of this is still speculation, as a lot of projects are still in the early stages. And in order to get started, you do need a modest amount of capital. And if it 10x, if it 50x, which we have seen in the past, especially during something called altcoin season, where you have like a lot of alternative coins like projects like growing faster than Bitcoin. And it could be a great way to increase your Bitcoin holding. Of course, the downside is you do have to research each of these projects. Like you can't just jump in on everything. I've seen people, they say, "Oh, I'm going to put in $100 into like 100 projects." It turns out that about like 80 projects got wrecked, and maybe the 20 project they have, 15 like broke even, and then you have like a couple that just did a 2x, and what they invested in wasn't even, or their return wasn't even enough to cover the losses they had. So this is a risk that you may have to face, and it's not something that you can just like spray and pray, right? You have to do your research, understand how it works, and then if you think that it has potential, right, you can put in what you could afford to lose. Right. Yeah. And it does take time to be good at it too. And of course, also there are a lot of people who do say that most altcoins are expected to be worthless in 3 to 5 years. So something to reconsider. And here's an example of what crypto distribution holding could look like if you want to get into altcoins. And you can see that there are different categories of altcoins. You have like, different coins, right? You have like high cap coins like Bitcoin. I should update this because I should do this because it's outdated. I should put a big X on this on Ripple because it's, but yeah. And then you have like a mid-sized coins. Well, this one's outdated too. These are growing. Neo is a bit gone, and then you have like stable coins in case you want to trade back and forth between between stablecoin and Bitcoin. And then you have like the high risk coins, like coins like Dogecoin, like coins like Swipe, coins like Sushi Swap or Uniswap. These are new coins. You don't know how they would go, but you don't want to miss out on the off chance that they may do like a 20x, 40x, or even 100x, which we have seen in coins like Aave. Yeah. And then next up, number 4, we have leverage day trading. So this one is another way you can grow your your crypto overall value. It does require a lot of work, as you are like day trading. You are watching the chart. You are like jumping in and out, and sometimes you may even be doing like leverage trades, which I personally do not recommend unless you have like years of like stock trading and like currency trading and all the sorts of trading before you jump in. Because I've seen people, they get greedy, they do like a 50x on a trade, and they hope that Bitcoin will go up by, if Bitcoin goes by $1, they make $50. But if Bitcoin goes down by $1, they lose $50. So that's the downside about leverage trading. But if you do know what you're doing, it can be very profitable. Right. And like even with if it's non-levered, right, you can still make some good plays, right? Imagine if when back earlier this month when Bitcoin was at 40K and you sold out, you turn your Bitcoin into stable coins, right? You can actually buy in now at 30K and make and get like a 25% like ROI right there. So that's a pretty good trade. Of course, as I said, you have to do your own due diligence before like getting in, because sometimes if you sell out too early, it may keep going up. The rocket will still move up, but you won't be on it, right? Next up, we have lending and staking. This one is moving more towards the passive end, where you don't have to put in like that much work. You don't have to watch the charts all the time, but you are working with platforms, right? Lending platforms where you provide your liquidity, you provide your crypto, and in return, you get a modest interest rate, depending on where you are at. You have platforms like Venus, you have platforms like Binance Lending. They give you like interest as high as like 50%, like 15%. But there are risks involved as well too, because you're working with centralized platform. You're working with and for Venus's cases, you're working with a smart contract, meaning the coins are not in your custody anymore. When you lend the coin to someone, you don't hold it anymore. It's no longer in your wallet. And suppose anything happens to like Binance or for Venus, right? If something happens, if they get hacked, if they're found, if the servers got taken out by let's say AWS or whatever service platform they're using, decides to like cut service to them, you can lose, like you are most likely going to be going to lose out on it. With smart contracts, you may be able to interact with smart contract to get your money back. Technical know-how, but to go more into this, like you are overall, you are like, it's like a GIC, like with lending and staking, it is like a GIC. You're parking your crypto, you get like a small return. If it's something that you are willing to go for, I mean, it could be a fair way to grow, but if you are concerned about like privacy or like how safe they are, it's not recommended for you to like put all your coins in there. Like for some people, I do know that they put in maybe about like 10% of the coins. So instead of you can go back to this chart, right? Instead of trading or buying like altcoins, they can just put in like this amount, right, or whatever this piece of the pie into these staking platforms. Yeah, and also to get good return, you do need to have some significant amount of capital, because when you're earning something like 10%, 15% a year, it's not going to be a lot unless you put in like a significant amount. Like if you put in $100, you get like $10 by the end of the year. Not really life-changing amount. And then next up, we have yield farming, which is similar to lending and staking. Only difference about yield farming is you are spending a lot of time comparing different lending platforms, different staking platforms, and you're jumping from one platform to the other to get a higher return. So you have some platforms, they may offer like a welcome bonus, right? You know how credit cards or sometimes bank accounts will say if you join them, they give you like a 5% interest rate, right? In the crypto space, these new projects offer something as much as like 500% a year or 1,000% a year for the first 2 weeks. And this could be a great opportunity for you to earn a lot, but you have to keep an eye on these because these projects can disappear anytime, or sometimes if it doesn't disappear, you put in the coins, but it may not become that profitable when everybody jumps on. So an exciting thing is you do get new coins because oftentimes when they say like 500%, they're paying you interest in the form of a new token. So you can see like in here, if you stake flip coins, you get like these coins. So you put it into this pool, you get polka dots in return. You buy flip coins and you put in here, you get like EOS in return, and you do run the risk of because you are like buying like alternative coins, right? Altcoins, right? Sometimes you put these coins in, and like the coin that you bought, the flip coins go down in value over time, and so you are exposed to altcoin risks when you participate in yield farming, and this is something you have to be aware, and you have to do your due diligence before getting in. But if you do know what you're doing, you could make a lot. In fact, there was a story about this guy. He turned $800 into $1 million within 5 months time. But this guy, he actually lived a pretty crappy life during those 5 months. Like he was not sleeping at all. He was doing horrible. Like his performance at work was horrible because half the time he was checking his phone, looking for new like welcome bonuses, new platforms to jump in. So I mean, there's a trade-off. You are trading a lot of time just to find the best offers. And of course, both for lending, staking, and yield farming, unlike your GIC at the bank, your crypto is not locked in. You can withdraw at any time. So that's why you have people who do yield farming. They put like their coins on one platform for a few days, move to another platform, and then move to a third platform for another welcome bonus. And then next up, we have writing and content creation. So this is pretty common. You may have even seen like some may have been on the receiving end, right? Where you have watched like YouTubers or bloggers who wrote or did like a YouTube video on like crypto. Like guys like box mining, guys like box mining, guys like Ivan on tech, guys like Data Dash. Like each of these people, they all have their own niche like within the crypto space. And if you want to like provide like value, you want to teach people about what you know in the crypto space, writing and content creation could be a path. Like you do need to, the cost to get started is pretty minimal. Like if it's blogging, you just need a computer to do it. If it's like a video recording, your iPhone, you can use an iPhone or use your computer camera, right? And you can get started, right? There are a lot of platforms out there to help you get started with it. Like you have platforms like Medium, you have platforms like Publish 0x, YouTube, and then within the crypto, and you also have Steemit and Hive, and a lot of different platforms where you can put up content and you can earn like either cash or crypto, depending on the platform you're in, right? So now the con side is you do need to put up regular content. You can't just put up some and then do nothing for a while. Usually to do well, you have to be consistent. You have to provide great content time and time again. And even if it feels like nobody's watching, you still have to put up content. Another downside is content and writing is also a bit oversaturated at the moment. But if you are able to specialize yourself in one area or two, you may be able to get yourself a good group of people. And within the crypto space, I know that people who have a background in trading, like they are putting out like trading analysis videos. They are putting together like you have people who are more into like who are technical know-how in mining. They're doing like mining videos. So you have to find a niche and be good at it. It could be time consuming, right? And also another side is you're also giving up your privacy too. You have like when you put yourself out on the internet, people will know who you are, and then people will know that you have crypto, and you could become a target if you are not careful enough. And lastly, it's not scalable too. Okay, next up we have crypto gaming and gambling. So this is another way to earn crypto. It's like a hit or miss depending on what you do. You can like you can buy you can buy like you have games out there like crypto mega cryptoopolis where you are like buying buildings, you're buying land, and you're buying building and land, and you can like sell them later on. You have like websites like crypto kitties, right? Instead of a game like this, you're just like buying cats. These are like NFTs artworks. You can flip them in hopes of getting a return. And of course, the risk involved is you may end up buying a cat that nobody wants, right? That you couldn't sell, or you may buy like a property that nobody wants, right? And then there's also like gambling too, right? You can go to like a crypto casino and like roll some dice and lose all your money. um, you could win, but I think it my take on crypto gaming and gambling is a lot of these like games out there. Their objective is to extract money from you. Right? They are after all a business. The reason they exist is to make money for the owners, and they make money off gamers like us. So so in my take is like the cards are usually stacked against you. It's not worth it, but some people do like it. They get joy out of playing, and it could become an addiction for some people. And unfortunately, it's not scalable either. And then next up, we have programming and coding, and this is more getting more into the area of like providing like real value, building infrastructure, right? Where if you do have some programming knowledge, you can create your own smart contracts. You can offer to do programming for people out there. You have websites like cryptojobs.co, or I think recently launched a pump of the pump crypto jobs by yeah by Mr. Pompeo, a well-known crypto investor. And these websites you can offer your services and your skill in programming and help people build, right? There's a constant huge demand for programmers in this space, and if you know how to program it, that's a good thing, right? And unfortunately, it's not for everybody. As I said, only if you know how to program, right? And it does take time to become good at it, right? Next up, we have crypto brokering. So this one is in the area of like deal making, where you're connecting buyers and sellers together. Oftentimes, it's like people like buyers and sellers with like huge amount of crypto, right? And I have seen people who have been doing like crypto brokering since 2015. Like they've been like they'll know a lot of people who have money, and these people want to get into crypto, and they'll connect them with like a miner, with some maybe an exchange or a service, and they'll get like a cut for referral. It's the nice thing about this is you don't need to provide a lot of capital. In fact, you don't have to provide any at all. You actually get paid when you make a connection. There's minimal risk. And the downside is that you have to be good at sales. You have to be like good at making connection. You have to be good at like talking to people. And unfortunately, if you are like an introverted person, this may not be for you. And also, it's not scalable too. Meaning, you only get paid if a deal goes through. If you make a connection, if you help make a connection and they don't buy, you may not get anything. So, yeah, I think it's. And then I see that Alex mentioned about watch out for money laundering, because that could be another risk too, that you don't want to connect someone who wants to launder money, because if they get into an investigation, you're going to be like they're going to mention your name, and you could be in trouble for making the connection. Here's another one. Operate a crypto ATM. This one is another great way to make some passive income. Not only are you providing more on-ramp opportunities for people to turn their cash into crypto, you are making money through like a margin of about like 5 to 15%, depending on where you are. Also, this operating ATM is a pretty scalable solution. If you want to earn more, just set up more ATMs around town. But the downside is, in order to set up an ATM, you do need that capital to start up. You need like a lot of money just to buy an ATM. You need to put money into the ATM in case if people want to sell. There's some degree of maintenance where you have to go to each ATM and make sure the money supply is full, or at least there's enough money supply for people who want to cash out. And you also face the risk of vandalism because nowadays people know that a crypto ATM has money in it, and they're gonna break it and steal all the money in there. And the worst part is when you are a crypto ATM operator, you are doing the opposite of what everybody is doing. When if Bitcoin is going up, everyone wants to buy, right? Everybody wants to buy and get on a moon rocket. You're gonna be selling, and you may even miss out on the moon rocket because you're selling. And likewise, when people are starting to sell, you're going to be the sucker who's going to be buying at the top, right? Or not buying at the top, but you're going to be buying as it goes down in value. So, so this is a risk that you may face if you are operating an ATM. And of course, you have to do your due diligence and know what is happening. Yeah, and then Alex mentioned about if you do operate ATM, make sure you do enough validations before you give the money out, or you can send the money or crypto out. Because if you don't verify fast, if you don't verify, if you only like do like one verification or zero verification, right, just to give money out, people can do like a double spend attack on you. And then you have initial coin offerings and pre-sales. This is where you participate in new projects and you buy like tokens. You buy tokens at the ground level, right? It's like it's pretty exciting if you are in the right project where like these projects could like 2x, 100x, 1,000x on these. And the downside is you don't know how high these projects may go. Like you may even get in on a project at ground level, but it goes underground. Like you lose everything. And there's a lot of like scam projects out there, a lot of pump and dumps out there. You also have like a lot of projects that are facing scrutiny from the SEC. Right now, the SEC they are like cracking down on like ICOs and such. So there's a risk that you may buy on a coin that is under investigation. And depending on your jurisdiction, you may or may not be able to you may not be allowed to participate in these if you're not an accredited investor. But this is where you do have to do your own research, right? And find the projects where you are allowed to buy, projects that are accredited, or they have like a they have like they have permission from the SEC, and of course timing is key. And then next up you have education and community building, and this is where like you can help people become better at crypto, and this is one way you could earn. But of course, there's a lot of people who are providing content. So if you want to excel at this, you have to provide like exclusive content. Like you have to be good at something, and then provide that content. So you have people who are like I mentioned earlier with the YouTubers and such. You have people who are very good at trading. They have like exclusive content, and they may be able to like teach like advanced techniques. And this is where they are able to like make some like earn like by teaching. And of course you have to be good. You have to be good at presentation. You be good at public speaking. You may have to put in a lot of time, and sometimes even if you're doing this for just referrals, sometimes like referrals you collect like may not be enough. I mean, at the end of the day, you can only go so far with like the $20 you get from like Coinbase or the $10 from another platform. But the big idea is that by helping others, right, you're getting more people in crypto and you're increasing the network effect. So yeah, so there is some like great value in that in education. And I just see from Alex, he said that he got about like 30K in tips from clients. Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I guess if you are if you're providing great value and you're providing content to the right audience, you could get good tips. And then next up we have airdrops. So airdrops are like opportunities when you have like tokens, your coins like Bitcoin forking out like when they fork, or if there's a new project that comes out and they say that they want to only give it to like token holders of like a, a token that they're building on the platform, right? So you may have like people projects that may say, oh, we want to give out coins to Ethereum holder, and this is one way you could get new coins just by holding onto an existing coin. And yeah, the pro is you do get a coin for free, but the downside is you do have to do a lot of research. You have to know like which coins are doing airdrops, which coins are which platforms are doing airdrops, what are the conditions, are the conditions favorable? For example, back in September, this exchange called decentralized exchange called Uniswap, they gave out 400 Uniswap tokens to everybody who did one trade prior to September 1st. And everybody who did one trade prior to September 1st, they got 400 Uni tokens automatically right by November. And if you look at the price of Uniswap, it's worth about $15. So you can do the math. These people just made like $6,000 just by using Uniswap. And I think it's a pretty cool thing. It's a pretty cool concept, but you do have to watch out for the conditions, because there are some projects where they may ask for like private information. They may want to ask for like KYC and such, and this is where you have to decide like whether you feel comfortable with it, because there are some projects where they are just scams out there. They ask you to send them your driver's license, and then they'll sell your driver's license on the black market. And so there are risks involved in this space. And yeah, so you have to do your own like due diligence before getting in on it. Right. And then lastly, you can earn crypto through starting a crypto business. With crypto becoming more mainstream, right, there will be a lot of opportunities to provide value and service, right? If you can identify a need in this space, and you can provide a solution to this need, you are set to reap the rewards. So you could imagine this coming April, people are going to be asking, oh, how do you do my taxes and such, right? Imagine if you have like a crypto tax service, right? If you're an accountant, you know crypto, you know how to help people like calculate taxes, right? This is one way you can earn in this space. If you are a developer, you can make like an app, like a wallet app, or maybe launch an exchange. Of course, it's not as easy as it sounds, right? There is a lot of work involved, but if you're able to find the right opportunity and you can provide the right solution, you could make you could stand to earn in this space, right? And the exciting thing is, yeah, your earning potential is unlimited, and you also get tax benefits too. Meaning, if what you're doing requires like purchasing of some capital upfront, and you can actually write it off. You can write off any expenses and such. So these are some benefits about running a crypto business. And of course, right, there are business risks involved, right? And not every business will succeed, and you may need to put in a lot of time and capital upfront. But the exciting thing is, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities out there. So I mean, so this is just another opportunity to consider. But yeah, I mean, so this is just my whole quick presentation on 15 ways you can earn in the crypto space. Some final thoughts for you is that the crypto space is huge. There's a lot of opportunities out there, right? And the exciting thing is not win-lose environment. Like everybody can win in this space. You don't have to worry. You don't need to have like a scarcity mindset, thinking, oh, if I do this, I may lose. No, you could, like, everyone can win too. And like if you can provide value and the price of Bitcoin and crypto grows, right, everybody wins in the space. And I think this is like a whole different environment from like the existing world. Like in the fiat world, like you have the bankers winning at the expense of everybody else, but in crypto, everybody wins if we all work together. And this is why like we have a community like this, right? We have a Zoom community here. We have communities like Subtle Asian Crypto that Charlie's running. We have like Crypto Canada, all these other crypto communities where we can support one another. We can mentor one another, and we can even partner up and start like projects together. And yeah, and of course, like research as much as you can, and of course, don't put in more than what you could afford to lose, right? And this is an African proverb that I want to share is if you want to go fast, go alone, but you want to go far, go together. And this is what this community is about. Like my long-term goal is to create an environment where all of us here can partner up and work on new projects together and get rich together. Because and I do want to also say that I'm like getting rich like it's just a destination. It shouldn't be like the goal of this. And in this crypto space, right, you will get to meet a lot of people. You get to make new friendships and connections in this space. And I think yeah, in my experience, I think it's the connections that really matter to me. Being able to meet a lot of great people, work on great projects together, celebrate together. I think that makes the crypto environment a lot more enjoyable than, let's say, the stock marketplace. So yeah, so this is just my presentation on 15 ways to earn. If you want to get more resources, I do have my blog, which is 1 Hour Investing. You can see I have other infographics out there. And yeah, so that's my presentation. I'm just going to end it off by showing the infographic up front. So thanks for watching. And yeah, I'm going to, well, before I open up the